And back we go. Counter-Strike. It's time for Counter-Strike. We have our third map coming up between Avangar and OpTic, and it will be Train. Is that correct?
Yeah, Train.
Okay,
it will be Train. Lots of ops. Well, at least from Avangar, maybe a little bit from MSL. Hopefully, steps up a little bit more this time map round. You got a chance, MSL. Time to redeem yourself. Let's see some of that performance from North. Well, before you got cut, but
I think it is perhaps a better map for him, although Train does have its chaotic moments, so we'll see if he can handle that. Avangar, this is a map that's really well suited to them, and the way that they like to play the map, I would expect to see a bunch of set pieces, fakes, them really playing with CT rotation. That's something that they're good at, and so I think this will be quite difficult. I think they already showed us that they can hold down a CT side as well, so I don't think the prognosis looks good for OpTic personally. So I don't know.
They haven't been looking good. At least that last map.
Obviously, you predicted them to win. Do you have any different views at this point?
Well, the way the OpTic's playing, I can't see them beating Avangar. I mean, Avangar's playing really well. As we saw in the other two maps, they have pretty good utility, but just their teamwork, their fundamentals, hitting their shots. Jamie's just... OpTic doesn't have an answer to Jamie's AWP, so on a map like Train, where AWP can be even more of an impact, it might show some problems. And I would like to see Jamie, like I want to see him do his mid stuff that I saw in the demos from before, where he's hopping in middle, he's dodging flashes, he's trying to pick off that E-box person. So I think that's going to be key. Can OpTic stop Jamie from, or I guess Avangar in general, stop that ladder push kind of thing? So that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, there is. I hate to kind of harp on about the AWPers all the time, but it does feel like there's kind of this void where you have Jamie doing all this work, and then MSL was just not really offering up the same level of opportunities for his team in the same way. But it's MSL is a player that's he's there for the leadership, and you know what? I think that we should see a good T side, a better T side from them here. But you can see the fan vote. The latest odds by Pinnacle, our betting sponsor. Go check them out, pinnacle.com. Go get yourself in on top of those odds, because I think this is not a done deal just yet. I think this is a very different map. It should, I think, be pretty good for OpTic overall, given what we've seen. So it's still an open case as far as I'm concerned.
New map, new you, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely.
So put your past mistakes behind, learn from them, move on, and it's going to be a rush inside. Someone's way far. Refresh is really far behind. Probably just throwing nades outside. Vanguard spots all the people top ramp, and Jamie takes on MSL in the process. Config, though, evening back up to 4-4. But the picks are going in favor for Vanguard. OpTic here is going to have a hard time holding down this bomb plant, but that kind of helps a little bit. Refresh picking off Sanji over there. Trying to go to work with his P250, but 1-on-3. 50 HP does not look good. Vanguard will take another pistol. Vanguard looking really good on all their pistols. I feel like it seems like their pistols are pretty much on point today.
I would agree that they've had quite a degree of consistency on their pistols. And on the CT sides, they already set a pretty strong showing against OpTic on overpass. Were they to get to a similar start here on Train would be impressive. OpTic going for the force by 2 AKs, lots of nades actually as well to back those up, and a couple of deagles. So this round is going to be interesting. Buster is the man on Ivy. He's got no nades actually, so he's got to be so careful. He can't slow this down. They go for the peek. He has to get the frags. Oh, he gets blinded, but he continues to spray and he gets the kill. That is phenomenal work. The AKs are being picked up, but these players, they don't have any Kevlar. So the hardest work has been done. Oh man, Buster. What an effort.
Oh man, you see this round, you look at OpTic's point of view, their flashbang was just a second too late. If it was earlier, that could have been a way different round. So in a game like this where every little small detail can change or break the round, it's just, you're going to watch back on this replay OpTic and just be like, man, just a second sooner. That could have been 2 kills for them. I mean,
that's true, yeah. Buster shouldn't have gotten anything if that flash would have landed sooner.
Just a little sooner because he saw the person cross, so he had his crosshair placement already set before the flash even popped, and so You're not going to mix at this stage. Oh my goodness, didn't expect 4 people there.
So much damage, but no kill. But lots of assists coming his way, I would imagine.
He's going to force a little rotation. 2 of the Avangar players are playing inside, pretty standard. And then the other 2 players are by Sandwich and Ivy area. So this is a little time where Sanchez could be caught off guard, but his crosshair placement is on point, takes out Config in the process. And now it does not look good for OpTic. They're going to try to sneak out here middle. Sanji dodges the flash. He gets the 2 kills by Red Train, and now they know MSL was T-Spawn throwing a flash over. And so they spam into the smoke.
There it is. Pretty clean overall. Apart from the 1 death, it's not too much to be sad about. And 3-0. Full utility though comes in though for OpTic, and we'll start to see what their T side will look like and how they want to start things off. Like, this is a spot in the game where you can go for a delayed set piece off of a default and maybe go with it, maybe show a fake straight away. You know, start to condition your opponent. I like to see it when T sides begin to do that. You know, this as well, for example, if you start like mollying that every round, you're going to deter an AWPer from even going there, unless they want to go for those plays where they walk through it, which some do.
See Nico down in position on the ladder. Fitch, though, has a really good angle, and he's able to do this because Avangar has a person pushed up in team middle, so he doesn't have to worry about any angles from team middle. So this will create kind of a weird stack set up here by E-Box on top of Blue Train. I don't think Nico can come out of this unscathed. If he peeks, he's probably instantly dead.
Yeah, I like this setup a lot. There's no one Ivy, so this actually should be pretty good here for Avangar. They get the first 2 kills. 2 players locked in Pop Dog for OpTic. No real way to get to a trade. Now go back to B, but the only thing, Snappy has to get something here. He's going to have to fall off though because James is on him. And Snappy will go up on the train. He's been spotted by James, and he's going to keep rotating around. Snappy lots of movement, eventually taken out, and no one yet to die. They do maneuver onto a bomb plant. That is something, I suppose, but need to get some damage in here onto the economy. Config wraps around the side, and maybe, just maybe, this round is not done just yet. Config moving forwards, and that will be cleaned up. And in the end, another good round from Avangar, though.
Good retake, good flank by Sanji. Sanji coming a little live, a little quicker than the previous maps. Probably in my eyes the MVP of Rio. It's good to see newer names come up through the, I guess, unproven teams, or
yeah,
I guess you say tier 2, why not? And below. It's good to see people progressing and getting better. I like it. MSL finally going with AWP. MSL starting off again. 1-4-1-5. This has been his MO lately. And then the Molotov by Avangar really slows down MSL getting the pick on Fitch. That's what you want to see from him. And now this allows Config to kind of lurky towards that sandwich area. Avangar's going to try to respond by pushing Ivy, but Refresh is 2 on top.
Config wrapping around, see if he can get some more there. Doesn't want to push his luck, and just takes the 1. And that should be it here. I think with the money as it is, Avangar needs to chill, hold on to these guns. It would actually not. We'll see likely a gentleman's agreement here. OpTic aren't really in a position where they should throw away weapons either, so they'll likely go to the safe spots, and we'll see the same thing here.
Pretty flawless round starting with the AWP pick by MSL. I want to see how they're going to do this next round. Last time I watched OpTic on Train, it was against Mouse Sports, and OpTic had a really poor T side on that map too, and it was just a poor game plan. They were trying to throw fakes, but they were like kind of half-baked ideas. You know, 1 smoke, 1 flash, and let's go inside. I mean, that can't work at a high level. So, and they tossed a fake not even taken outside once successfully. So it's like teams won't over-rotate if you're down 4 to 10 rounds. They're not going to over-rotate on a fake with just one flash and smoke. So see if MSL can maybe refine more of their T side since playing Mouse Sports. And Vanguard is going with a double offset. I don't think we've seen this yet from them in this series, and so we'll see if this is forcing them to play a little more aggressive. You see Jamie, double offset up, he has a chance to really just take over an entire bomb site. But MSL is going to take out Sanji. And again, starting off with the entry pick. That's huge.
Just pushing forward, so trying to get behind the T's, and he might do just that as the jump comes from Refresh, and these backstabs are looking phenomenal. Snappy is the only one left in a 1 versus 3, and so 2 orbs. Oh, actually finds one of them. Buster's been eliminated, and there's a trade out of James. Good stuff from him. 5-1, and OpTic will get knocked down.
But they have lots of money.
They do. They do that. They do. They do. They got $2,900 there for their loss bonus. And I mean, the thing is though, Avangar have been pretty consistent. On James to continue onwards, he's been pretty good as well. He's actually 5-0. Hasn't died just yet. That's not bad. Although we are only 6 rounds in as we begin play on the 7th. And we get 3-man approach towards IB here for OpTic.
Let's get confirmation. Sorry to interrupt. James Bardoff is on his way. Oh. He's going to grace us with his presence.
My oh my. He might make it, he might actually make it for this game actually.
Maybe, we'll see.
Because it's only, oh it's, okay, yeah. Airport, it's pretty hard to get into Santa Monica. It takes time. Takes time.
Airport, but look at this, OpTic. MSL trying again, peek with the AWP, trying to get a pick, another entry kill by MSL. This is a different MSL that we've seen in the previous 2 maps. And getting early picks on T side of train are so huge, and this allows OpTic to get to backside. Now Kikurt playing very cautiously, but Refresh beat him to the punch with a headshot. Now it's up to Jamie. He has to hit some of these shots, and he does kill Nico. What a shot! And and Vanguard, they're turning around, Dan.
James, nice shot there over the top of the train, and now Refresh has it all to do. 30 seconds to go as well to plant that bomb, and Avangar not looking like they're going to concede too much here. They will let him grab it, but they have taken pretty strong positions. You can see that Fish is ready to drop in. Obviously, Sanji hears the running. Like, there's just so many things to deal with there. It's impossible for Refresh, and 6-1 will be the scoreline. Avangar looking really good.
After that, I think after they killed Refresh and CT Spawn, they kind of forced the agenda too much. As you saw when they're trying to rush through lower ramp to kind of avoid the Z guy really quickly, but Jamie was already there, and he kind of peeked with, inside the Molotov to get the pick. So in those situations, you're up 2 kills, you make it back, so you're in CT Spawn, you're in the spot that's kind of random. The opponents know you're there, they know you're in CT Spawn. Maybe at that point you can slow it down. Maybe send some people top ramp or something like that. I know hindsight's right now 20/20, but again, it's just like after they got the first 2 kills, you're up in numbers. You don't have to rush things. You don't have to quickly take a choke point and make mistakes. Because it forced OpTic to have really bad timing in that situation. They couldn't get the exchange on Jamie, and he able to get 2 kills out of that situation, which maybe at most should have gotten 1.
Yeah, very true. Now we'll have OpTic trying something else here. Just having to wait out, respect these pre-nades from Avangar. Good nade. Does a good chunk of damage to Refresh, and Sanji moves his way in. Nico ready for that push though.
It's a very dangerous angle because they can see the shadow and everything.
And there's no flashbang or anything like that from Avangar.
It's a really poor, yeah. You want a flash or Molotov or something in there as you peek that angle because again, the shadow gives you away.
And also, it's one of those things where the position is actually more important or as important as a kill. So one of those things can be more safe than the other. Kill means that you're likely going to have some risk that they can shoot back and you know, kill you, and that sucks, like we just saw. But if you have these, as you say, like the molly, like a molly and a flashbang or something, they might have to fall back out of those spots, and then you take it, and they won't regress. 5v5 still, but you have position, and that's very valuable. Nico will make his way forwards. They're trying to move towards that E-box. He's successful. Almost got Fitch as well. That's big damage, but they're going towards B. Kiko with opportunities. It's Jane, though, to knock down one of the wounded players, MSL. But he has to do everything here, pretty much, because his teammate Fitch is so weak. Oh, that almost was a chance for Jane. If only Refresh can be hanging out. Oh, sorry, Snappy was hanging out just a little bit longer. But they might have to give this one up because they're starting to fall back.
Yeah, save the WP. Low HP on Fitch. No, I mean, Jamie does have a smoke in case if there's Molotov the bomb, but again, out of position. You're up 6-1. You have some money to work with, not really on some of the players, so you have to just save the gun and go for the next round. It is the smarter play. Avangar up 6-2. OpTic winning their second gun round of the half. Avangar still looking pretty strong. Telephone. Let's see what OpTic will have to bring. They just won a round. Just working picks. OpTic's looking pretty good at getting the early picks. There you go, another telephone. Okay. Why not? Sandwich smoke, flash going out. Pretty standard stuff so far. Just trying to bait some extra utility. Maybe trick you guys. Hey, maybe we might be rushing. Just kidding.
Ouch. Config, though, able to finish off Sanji. Oh, that's a big miss from Jane. And he really would have loved to have hit that first one, wouldn't he? Would have actually been still alive had he done that, but still a chance to Kiko and Fitch. But now the A-bomb side has been... It's not really been fully taken, though. There's not deep positions for Snappy and Config as they hold back. And this creep coming in from Fitch might be good, but Snappy seems to be ready for that one. As Keycut now works the train, but with a UMP, it's not going to find the headshot that he needs.
I kind of like that move by OpTic in that situation, instead of, as you're saying, going in the bomb site and planting the bomb right away. Map like Train, a lot of weird spots CTs can hide. They can flank ladder or push from another angle on the map. And they just kind of waited. And so their patience got that ladder flank before, you know, maybe being exposed to a ladder flank. So I kind of like that when you get the kills, maybe wait. Because the team has to react to you, right? You get kills outside, they have to react. They have to do something. They have to move.
They must move. And Keycut got caught moving onto Config there, and looks like there should be pretty much a misnomer, this one. Should be a given. OpTic back on track. Avangar didn't get too far out of control. Taser there. We don't see many tasers, you know.
Yeah, you would think they'd see a little bit more.
I think, isn't Furia a team, another, like, that's something that they do, maybe. I'm seeing nodding from Siggy there, so it must be the case, yeah. Yeah, they're just one of those teams that they're like, we're going to just try everything. And
well, they're doing well in a lot of aspects, so they're doing something right. Opening their minds. Right now, just kind of taking it super slow. OpTic not sure what exactly is going on with the CTs, so throwing some smokes, throwing some flashes. Nico getting the first kill, or I guess the second kill of outside. But USPs, you can't do much, Dan. You can't do much with USP, no armor.
no, you can't. Would have been nice to see that character stack. I like that one. It's a fun one.
You should hit him up on Twitter. Like, hey, I want you to stack really quick. I think it will work.
I guess now they're going to be, everyone who like plays mouse sports, after you see that once, you're like, everyone's ready for it. They're all ready for it if you're playing against mouse sports. Gotta find a new stack. Well, there it is. Bomb will go off, and that's 4-6. OpTic on the way back on the recovery. I'll see if we get any good weaponry coming out here for Avangar. I'm not sure where their money's at. Okay, it's enough. AWP onto James.
Question is, are they going to double up class cannon? That'd be interesting. I think, you know, this is one of the maps where you can get away with a glass cannon in a way, in terms of there's a lot of long distances. Op map, why not? Can be very powerful. But it is a risk. You maybe want a kit, nades, some utility. Feel warm inside, feel comfortable, safe, not vulnerable. Because no one likes that feeling, Dan.
No, they don't. Those train noises. I want more interesting noises on the maps, or like more variation. I think just because we spend so much time on the same maps, you know.
You should turn on your endgame music. How about that?
Yeah, that's
MVP music, man. You have to have your MVP music on. You gotta hear it. Gotta hear the Easy for Ents song every freaking round. Gotta be reminded every single time someone wins a round it's Easy for Ents.
That's so sick that they have
That's pretty awesome.
In the game. It's so sick.
I wonder why Valve doesn't do that more. And why only for Ents?
Conspiracy. Well, OpTic, they can't make this push work. They try to creep there into the 4 positions on the A bomb site, but it's a slow bleed. And once you lose this many players, it starts to get really awkward. That's a nice one, though, from Snappy. Good timing found. And there's not really any utility remaining on Avangar. And you can see the bombs creeping forwards. Config gets that on the pitch. But Buster holds down Ivy, which doesn't really allow Config to... There's no way to plant. That's the problem. You can't plant. The Ivy side is covered, and so is Connector. So wisely, they'll make their way up through Pop Dog here towards B.
It's a better move, even though it's Jamie with the AWP. There's less people in this area. Oh, nice flash, and Jamie just barely missing that shot. No, so Avangar knows it's inside, and the bomb will get down now. Oh, is that a head stack over there? And it is. Avangar coming out with all the tricks of the book, head stacking over smokes. Fake just barely missed. Oh, okay. That would never happen in 1.6, but you know what? This is CSGO, so...
What wouldn't happen?
You can never not scope and hit people with AWP.
Right, yeah.
It literally goes straight up in the air sometimes when you're just right next to a person. You have to quick scope in 1.6 for it to be even remotely accurate. But CSGO, you can jumping 360, no scope, 3 people in the air, you know. Interesting mechanic. Don't agree with it because the gun's probably pretty heavy in real life. And the double up comes out.
It does indeed. The gun is actually very heavy in real life.
You held one?
Yeah.
Did you shoot it?
Yes. Guy who made the AWP showed me how to
The guy who made it?
The guy who designed it, the originals. What? Yeah. We made some videos on it.
Did you hit a target?
It was like a test range, shooting range. So yeah, it was like a 100-meter target.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's cool. It's really cool.
Is it smaller than it looks in game?
No, it's
I feel
pretty
like
enormous.
in game it looks like a tank weapon almost.
It's pretty huge. That's fascinating. Yeah, we did a pretty long form video on it on the Face It YouTube channel. Ooh. So we went to Accuracy International, it's a British company.
Nice.
And they make the best sniper rifles in the world.
Is that like a consensus fact, or is that what they say?
No, it's a fact. Yeah, they make the best sniper rifles in the world.
Nice.
Indeed, indeed. Well, we are going to see 2 sniper rifles there for Avangar, and the slow one for OpTic. They're just biding their time, moving towards the B bomb site now, as they've got the lurk set up for Ivy. Refresh smokes deep, starts to pull attention towards Ivy, but it comes to push towards B. So I think Avangar know what's going on, but they got to get killed. Oh, the lineup, the kills are coming for Kika. He's done his job. That 2K was pretty critical. Fish pushes forwards, And the spray works out. One more player to go. Had he got that, it would surely have been too easy. But now with MSL trading it out, there's a solid chance, especially with the flank coming. And they know that it's coming. They have to know that it's coming. They heard the smokes. They knew this guy in A. But when will he peak? When will he push them? Well, James can pull out the USP. He's going in close as an AK down on the ground. Maybe he wants to go for that. We'll have to see the AWPs in the hands of MSL, though. So I don't know what on earth James expects to do. And he'll be taken down for his efforts.
Big run from MSL, 3 kills. And maybe you heard the stream, maybe he's like, yeah, maybe I do gotta step it up. Maybe I gotta stop being bottom fragging with AWPing every single map.
Well, someone to tell me.
I just need someone to point it out to me through HLTV links and Twitter posts.
See a few more Thorin videos as well. And I'll be good to go.
Well, not much of a stat man like he is, so I don't care too much about stats. It's just fun. Because it's teamwork that makes the dream work. Body, sweat, and tears, MSL. Another pick. I want to know how many entry kills he's had so far this game, and it has to be at least 4 or 5.
Yeah, just USPs though for Avangar in this round, and they will be diminishing one by one. It's a matter of time here. Avangar, yeah, they've really slowed down, so that's good news here. Got a very competitive third and final map between these two teams to decide who goes on to the finals. Of course, tomorrow we will be playing the remainder of the semi-finals to figure out who will be in the grand finals for the following day, day 4 of week 3.
Spicy. OpTic trying not to lose any armor or guns. You're about to win your 6th round. Pretty good so far on your T side. And so, keep up that momentum. Keep up the mentality. Ooh. Patiently, he waits. Buster's gonna fall back here and...
What's the stats?
Buster wants a gun, OpTic wants stats. But OpTic, MSL keeping them on the leash. Do not go for it. There's no reason. They don't have armor, they don't have guns. It's just not worth it. And Config is upset by that. You can see right there. He wanted to go for the kills. He wants to pad the stats. And he's raging in-game by spamming T-spawn. I should become a psychologist.
Do it. Okay, AWP out for Avangar once again. This is the last stand. This is the last stand. The last round where they'll have great weaponry. Don't have great utility though. So they'll have to find a way to mitigate that. Maybe we'll see a comp push, T-comp push, or something like that. Heavy Ivy presence again for OpTic.
Here we go. That's what we came to see.
Pigeons will fly away.
Run boosting with ops and MSL. They're going to continue with the formula. Let MSL peak first with AWP to get the pick, and then see what happens from there. Seems to be working. Oh, he almost takes a shot off. Just barely missing. Great idea, though. MSL knows something. He has a number.
This is quite scary for Avangar because they're just waiting for the peaks and you got to hit the shots, and Buster will start things off well by doing that. Snappy gets a trade though, and that's E-Box dealt with, and Refresh now is going to close as well as Sanji works around the back, and just like that everyone goes down. Avangar pick up a much needed round. And the money's still great though for OpTic, nothing really for them to worry about. Avangar get to continue with the full weaponry and now the full utility as well, as a benefit of winning around in a clean fashion.
I would have liked to see an outside rush by OpTic. Well, previously last round when they're low on utility, that's kind of when you want to do these explosive set piece rushes, is when the opponent, the CTs, are low on Molotovs. But I don't think I've seen an outside rush from OpTic in like 60 rounds of watching them. But of course I could always be wrong. 2 kills off the start again. OpTic trying to go for this Ivy defaulty pick and just get tore up already. Barely doing any damage to Avangar. And now they're just kind of just walking through choke points, hoping to catch someone off guard, but Avangar's not slipping right now. They want to finish this out, Dan. They want to win.
They're not slipping. No slip and slide for them. All right, here we go. Snappy in. Trying to slide in there down the ramp.
And Snappy out. See it? Ooh. All right, let's put Nico on the op. That's what what I saw. Right. I like what I saw.
Well, nice comeback from OpTic, though. The finish was strong for Avangar. 9-6, and they're looking good going to that T side. Can they show us the T sides of the past couple maps? If so, OpTic are in trouble. Find out after the break. Welcome back. It is the third and final map between Avangar and OpTic, and the second and final half for them to play out. And it's pretty even affair at the moment, but Avangar, they move to the T side. And we've already highlighted that they've got strong T sides, so OpTic will have a lot in their hands. But I feel like the CT side should be stronger for OpTic too.
Should be. Usually the CT sides are generally a little bit easier on a map like Train. You're able to, you know, not rely on timings as much as T-side. See here, Avangar. You have one of the scouts in Ivy, Sanji, trying to poke around, see if he sees anything. He does not see anything, so going to give Avangar a bunch of information that they're pushed up, or maybe they're playing heavy Z or heavy inside. I wouldn't be surprised if they just try to take out middle here, because they're lined up to take out middle. Nice, Sanji. Giving away his position right away, but OpTic is not buying it. Config is holding strong in the middle, and he does spot at least 2 people out middle. This unsilenced, silent USB.
You highlighted before how consistent Avangar tend to be on their pistols, but this is a good start for OpTic. Got good damage. Bomb does go down though, so the money's secure, but they're locked in. Pop Dog, 2 players are locked there. That's really a problem because MSL, he needs to get a frag here, and he has the element of surprise, and that's all that matters. 2 versus 3 now, 1 versus 3 for Fidge. The clock, okay, that needed to be a kill. Hey, that's not quite what you want to see, is it? Not quite what you want to see.
But good recovery. Good recovery by OpTic.
Absolutely. And the cool thing here is that, yeah, they make that recovery when that CT pistol, just as Avangar did. However, Avangar have the force buy option, and they are a team that could use that really well. They've got such good utility usage that they could decide to keep the pressure on immediately. However, it's a close game, so there's an argument to not go too crazy. It may just be a little bit.
So they're just going to do...
Yeah, this one's a little bit
They
damage.
could still buy next round, so they just bought some deagles. Jamie maybe a little too much about the scout, but it's trained. Maybe he can make some magic happen. We'll probably end up buying a scout again next round if they do not capitalize on this. And Vanguard, though, with this, you know, just deagles, they're going to just take it slow. Again, the longer you wait, the more the CTs will maybe feel obligated to smoke a connector, you know, toss a Molotov here to slow down, because in their minds, you know, you got to plant the bomb. But T's side, or T's mind, you know, you're kind of on a half buy or whatever, and you want to waste money. You just want to waste money for the CTs.
Oh, that's what's happening.
Just slowly creeping. Like fungi in a cave.
So Snappy, the first to get some action, it seems. The UMP, maybe some money to be made. No helmets, so the UMP will be strong. Its rate of fire, though, can sometimes cause problems.
Ooh, Jamie.
That's nice, and a couple kills with this investment would be really strong. Especially if you can get the money down low enough that they can't get Norp next round. That'd be nice. Oh, okay. Whoa. Okay. Lots of damage being done. Fitch has a UMP. Do they know where he is? Okay, he's gonna. Oh, he's gonna go. That's a cool pop flash. I don't know how MSL dodged that flash. He must have been just behind like a lip of the corner there to dodge that. I don't know how he did it. It looked really strong, that pop flash.
Strong, but it didn't work. And who was it? Who's that behind bomb train? Was that Snappy? Who was behind the bomb train area and got picked off by looking E-Box? Gotta trust your teammate. You went for those kills. And then you get glocked.
Yeah, trusting your teammate is definitely big.
I do.
Big thing.
I have trust issues and
if you play enough pugs.
I have really big trust issues.
Yeah, if you play enough pugs.
What? Their market? Are you sure? Are you sure?
The worst thing is when you see your teammates like covering something and then repositioning about 500 times for no reason. You're just like, oh, well, I'm just open to everything now for no reason.
You were with me, and then all of a sudden you just walked away and left me.
How about you watch something, I watch something, and then everyone's cool.
I think the worst part is like holding an angle, and someone else just starts running right in front of you, and you've just been quietly sitting there for 30 minutes or 30 seconds.
Well, 2 big kills there around T-Con has provided OpTic with a solid start here on their buys. Doesn't really seem to be like all that much that they can offer up at this point. Again, it's that classic thing. Like I always say that this is a 3v5 on train is by far the hardest thing because you just can't create the openings you need. Now, the thing here is that Sanji's actually in a good position. He's so deep on Ivy that there is a chance here because it depends on OpTic's setup. You can see they have a man on top of the green train, and that's a very difficult position to deal with by yourself and without somebody to trade. If you have someone there to trade that kill and that player dies, all of a sudden the 2 players at the front of the site, when they're getting pinched from either PopDog or T-Con, they have huge problems. But in this instance, you just don't quite have that extra player that you need on the T side to either go and trade and create spots like that, or find another angle to attack from, which is the other way you would want to do it. So you're just too light on players, and it's just the rotations between each attack avenue are so huge as well for the T side. Ivy so far away from connectors, so far away from B ramp and pop dog. You know, it's also separated.
Now Jamie saves AWP. It's gonna be pretty much a full set. Oh, actually, do you buy? I think you buy with the team and just try to get some names. But again, we've seen Avangar do a lot of these half buys throughout the whole series, so they like to just, I don't know, it's kind of their gameplay, I guess. But I'd like to see Jamie do something a little aggressive here. Maybe do his mid pick, but he won't. He's gonna flash over and kind of just see if OpTic will push here. Vanguard's gonna stick together 4-1 and see if they're gonna just slow it down here.
I really like it because you just never know what they're gonna have. So that's one reason I like it. And secondly, I like it because they actually know what to do with the following rounds.
Yeah.
With the players that don't have money, they actually have really good plans behind it. So flashbang out. And James has joined them. They'll go into the B bomb site. And Avangar, how much damage can they do here? All right, well, CZ will take down Refresh. Is there an AWP here to respond to MSL? Not quite. James out of position for that. AWP collected by Busty. Doesn't have any. There's no Kevlar on anyone except for James. And this creep from MSL might be the master stroke. He's going to get behind one player. There it is. Announces his presence. James with the flick shot. Sanji alive with the deagle. 1 versus 2. And that does a lot of damage and a bomb plant. And they reliably seem to get this situation when they have these half buys. So you've got to hand it to Avangar.
You could think it that way, or if maybe they full bot, they could have won the round. You know, it's I guess you could kind of look at both angles a little bit. I mean, I kind of understand what Vanguard's doing, but some other teams might rather force buy in that situation. But I guess it's all preference. But in the end, as you said, they got the bomb down. They did a lot of damage, and they're able to buy again. But if they lose 16-14, you got to kind of think it back in, you know, that question in the back of your head. What if they force spawn instead of keeping these little half buys, you know?
And if they win this round, OpTic will be able to buy, but it will be kind of crappy, so they'll have decisions to make. So Vanguard set themselves up nicely to take control of the map, but they're very methodical here. You can see that James covers. They use the smoke to get through to Hell. Sorry, Olafmeister. Nico's watching this. Better angle. Better angle.
Nico with a nice pick off Fitch, and now Avangar can't really do much right now, so they back off of middle and do have one person pushed up on the inside, so allow Avangar just kind of walk up without trying to make footsteps, trying to clear angles here.
And that's a dynamic outside. It feels like Avangar don't quite have enough pressure around the map. For example, if you throw in some Ivy pressure, even if it's just a deep smoke, it does often, that can be enough to pull a player back and take some eyes away from the front of the, in the 4 positions, connector and Ticon and Pop Dog. But we see the peak going in there for James, and it's just a slow bleed. It's a slow bleed. Refresh finishes in all off, and it's easy as you like. So 11-9 for OpTic. Avangar struggling to find mileage on the T side. They can go for a force buy here, or for just a full buy.
Yeah, Vanguard is trying to do a lot of these slow pick plays, and OpTic, I mean, their CT side defense is pretty locked down. They're helping each other out. As you saw that last round, MSL was in top ramp opting for Refresh, who was kind of at a weird spot right next to that ladder. And instead of being on the ground, he's up top. So, you know, give a little twist to that kind of setup, and you know, it's a little different, but it's enough to really throw it off. And look at this, another force buy.
And I think it's, well, it's weirdly they actually left some money on the 3 players that couldn't fall by, so it's a weird spot. Again, like treating their money very strangely, but we'll see how it plans out. I do feel, you know, still like we need more pressure around the map. Like someone needs to be, you know, Molotoving into like Pop Dog, just showing presence there. Just more pressure, because it gets very quiet. And look at the utility on OpTic. It's a minute left, and they've got 3 smokes, 4 smokes, I think. Yeah, 4 smokes, an incendiary, flashbangs, like so much utility. And that just shows that they're not, Avangar are not pressuring enough. But we'll get the boost from Jamie. They do this a lot. Oh, noise made it. Do they go for it still? He's like, get it. Get in the right spot, you
newt.
You noob. Get to the right spot.
Would you guys say newt in London? You guys call each other newts?
No, don't think so. Look at what are Avangar expecting here? Because it's 20 seconds. There's still utility here for OpTic. They're just chilling. They don't care.
Indeed, but it kind of maybe pays off a little bit. 2 kills are exchanged from both teams, and Jamie getting that 3rd one. This will allow the bomb plant to go down. Refresh, though. Bringing it back to a 2-on-2. Fitch is really low in HP. Oh, just spots the head of Jamie by Green Train. Hell, but MSL has to go try to get this pick here. And a missed shot, meaning Jamie will take out MSL. Now it's up to Refresh.
There's a chance now as that HE kill works.
Oh,
so he goes for the
goodness.
feet as well. And Jamie has to get the wallbang headshot to finish that one off. That was so close. And I don't know. I still feel like Avangar's approach is too slow, too without pressure. You can see that all came down to just winning one-on-ones. And when you're on the T side,
can't rely on that.
It's not reliable. Yeah, it's not too reliable, and you have no time. If you lose one of those 1v1s at the early stage of that push, it's round over because you just don't have time to plant the bomb at that point to autocorrect. So it does get very difficult quickly.
Yeah, and also OpTic knows that Avangar is playing the slow play style. That they know that they like to let Jamie pick.
Oh,
and
nice.
MSL out shooting Jamie there. That's something you have to see if you want to compete against these guys. And just like that, MSL will make OpTic again. Another entry pick by MSL. We've seen so many so far on this map from him.
Yeah, he's really stepped it up, and that's critical. We've highlighted how important that is, and especially in the current circumstances where Avangar are already struggling, this really compounds the problem. Because even at the point in which the pick happened, like there's no presence on the map at all from Avangar. Look at the map control for OpTic. They've got Nico in T-Con. That's never a good sign for the T side. Another nice one from MSL. He's really feeling it, warmed up into that 3rd map, and it feels like they're almost sitting ducks at this point. Refresh can easily punish. He pushes forwards, but maybe not. Fitch watches for it. Now MSL ready and waiting. 3rd kill in the round for him. This config wraps around the side, and he'll finish it off. Just Buster left. Buster's got so much work to do. The transfer was ambitious, and MSL good for his 4th. And another round goes to OpTic, and another round where I feel like Avangar, it's a slow bleed. Where are the set pieces? Where are the fakes? Where are the force them back, leave a guy there, retake Pop Dog, position someone in T-Con maybe, or maybe not, and go for a split, or ignore Pop Dog entirely, smoke it off, go for the Ivy and T-Con push. Set up a Pop Dog take, pressure Ivy, hit the B-bomb site, fall back with a fake through Pop Dog because you cleared it. Capitalize on the rotation. There's so many things we're not seeing. Basic strats in this map. Faster round comes in though, and they get the opening kill. So that's something.
Yeah, Refresh caught in a weird spot, trying to be super aggressive here. Also kind of weird on how slow Vanguard's been playing. I guess he thought he could maybe try to get in a sneak up off angle. And Fitch, though, not doing any damage to Sandwich, and Nico will take out Fitch.
I hate those duels. I never know if I'm winning it or not.
Yeah, and if you do hit him like 8 times, it does 20 damage. Gets through that metal corner.
It's really unpredictable, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and just a simple flash, and not having the smoke allows Jamie just to post up. So any people rotating through Z, if they're not careful, they are going to... Oh, we're back.
Kurtz taking down Nico, and Sappy and MSL gonna have to do something here. MSL finds himself one,
MSL!
And there's the second one. And he continues to deliver on train. Sanji, now with the bomb, has to go for the plant. The flank is on the way. This is looking very awkward for Sanji. High flash, how does he play off of it though? Goes for the peak, tries to spot MSL. But again, the clock is on him in more ways than one here, because here comes the flank. And there it is, baits it out, MSL, and Snappy finishes it off. Good team play and OpTic will get 13 rounds. They are looking like they're going to take this series.
MSL bringing the heat. He had to step up if OpTic wanted to take this series, and he is stepping up. He wants to move on. What do you do if you're Avangar? I mean, Jamie does have an impressive scoreline for his team, but they're not winning any T-side rounds. They've only won one. Avangar, that is. Even though they planned the bomb, you know, half the rounds pretty much. So they're getting the site sometimes, they're getting the post plants, but OpTic is just playing that a little bit better to take it over. MSL just doing huge things. Config going to push in the ladder. Seen this a lot.
Sound, that's fantastic. Well, we can't really commentate a black screen, but I can commentate how screwed we all are. So
there we're back.
Such as life, it is you know, vehicle technology and all of that.
It happens.
It's indeed it does. But we're back, and because Avangar plays so slow, you can see it's a 5v5. You literally miss nothing.
You miss nothing against the Avangar matches.
So there you go. I picked up their T sides. I feel like I've not been delivering some of the kinds of rounds I would like to see, and from them. And we'll see something perhaps different. It's a late T-con push. They have to just rush it in here. They don't have pop dog control. They do smoke it off. We talked about that. Config darts out the smoke though, picks up the first and sprays down the second. And they can't get the bodies in for the trade. And now they're stuck behind a choke point. The bomb's been lost. It's 20 seconds ago. This is hopeless. Now, as I said before, you know, if you go for the late T-con push, what it really does well. It really does. Okay, let me speak English first. It serves you very well to take Ivy control first, because if you do that, and again, let's look at this round. They attacked like with 30 seconds left. You have time to take Ivy control there. If you take Ivy control, and you can do it in a very safe way, then when you go for that push and you smoke off Pop Dog, if Config makes a play out of it and your Ivy players have success coming out of Ivy, Config dies to the guys coming out of Ivy. So that allows, or at the very least, it allows a trade to happen, as opposed to putting the burden on everyone who steps out of T-Con having to peek into Pop Dog and not peek anywhere else. That's a problem. That's why you need to get the splits going oftentimes against a good team. So Avangar struggling here. This is... They have any utility. MSL, he's feeling it, and I can't blame him. He's 22 for 15, best game he's had perhaps all week, at least on train from what I have seen. But he will go down, and an opening's been afforded Avangar.
Yeah, it's a pretty good point, Avangar. Bitch getting taken by Snappy. And Vanguard is kind of changed it up a little bit. They took Ivy a lot quicker than they usually do. And you were talking about like making noise somewhere else if they wanted to do slow picks, and I totally agree with you. Like Ivy is one way to do it. You can even go like toss maybe a smoker flash inside to pull a Z rotator, or just pull just one more person outside before you toss these picks. Because right now Vanguard is just waiting. They're holding angles, holding angles. OpTic is just going to use that time to get in position to push up. As you see, Config is just sitting right here having a good time, and it makes Avangar recheck angles, reclear angles. Take these risks where one of those should have died. Config should have had at least one kill, but he didn't. And so Vanguard gets a little lucky here, and they're able to get outside a little bit. But Nico and Snappy just cleaning up with Refresh already in position. That's another problem. You take so slow, you allow the CTs to rotate, and now it's a 1-on-3 situation with Buster. And it does not pay off. Refresh gets the last kill. Again, you got to be able to change the pace up. If you're not winning on slow, you got to do something different. And we saw this exact same thing from pretty much ATK last night. They literally did almost the same default every single round. They tried to go slow. They tried to work Ivy. They tried to just do these slow picks, and it didn't work at all. And it's not working for Avangar, so you just can't just keep doing it. It's not going to just magically work.
And they've only won one round so far, and I got to say, like, I haven't really seen a round where I'm like, that's a great round from Avangar so far. Like it's been a struggle, and I hope they can figure it out because they don't have any other chances, and they got no utilities. So
they have one smoke.
Not much figuring out to do. At least options are taken away from them inherently because they don't have utilities. They just have to do something like this.
But OpTic knows this, so they're going to play safe. 3 outside, 2 inside. Oh, this is not look good. Oh, but the kill on Nico already creates a little small pocket of opening. Able to break his inside, but MSL gets the kill on Fitch, bringing it to 3-on-3. Config though. Jamie, I don't know what... Is he trying to lurk down ladder? Trying to do a late Z flank? Not going to trick Config there.
Yeah, it's a big risk. You're hoping that there's no one pop dog, but there was. And it's kind of weird now because going for that risk, because everything's slowed down and there's no bomb plant, OpTic stopped pushing. And that's really how he got caught so badly, I think. So OpTic really, reading that correctly as far as the pacing went. And it's paid off with a kill. And now Sanji's holding connected. He's got to make that kill work. Buster picks up his one. Whew, Khalils, you never seen him do so much work in a situation like this. Config moving his way down. The man you want in this scenario as he moves forwards, although Sanji has his angle. And the Avangar will stay alive, but again, you can't look at that round and be like, yeah, that seems something that's reliable. Because, what was it, like Nico just completely whiffs against the first 2 players down the ramp. If he gets even 1 kill there, that's...
It's a different round. It's over.
It's probably over, yeah.
But then if you look at the positive side about it, Avangar, they did something different and it worked. So that's a positive sign and all that. It's pretty much just grouped up, went inside. It's very simple, but it worked. Sometimes simple is good.
Yeah, and it could just be the case that Avangar haven't... Maybe I sort of misremembered or something and I just gave them too much credit, but maybe it's just the case that their T-sides on trains is not... They just haven't worked on them a huge amount. There's no reason why they shouldn't be a great T-side train team, in my opinion, but they're obviously struggling so much that they're barely able to get rounds. The rounds that they've got have been like weird rushes like that, and it comes down to 1v1s and clutches, and we haven't seen that, as I mentioned, developing map control, pressuring out your CT utility, playing against the plays that OpTic are making. When OpTic take positions, retaking positions, trying to get creative with finding different timings and picks, and then building into some kind of a split attack, which is pretty much what it's about. Set pieces, we're not, all this kind of stuff. Where is it at? Where is it at? Either way.
Oh.
Refresh.
Taking damage, why not?
Yeah, he's got down to 35.
Oh no.
I thought he had that, MSR. So he's given up the last 2 openings.
The reverse MSLs.
Will that be the difference? Will Avangar start figuring it out now?
Well, they still have to get in the bomb site and plant. And again, the slow style of play allows OpTic to slowly creep up and take map control against the Avangar. And as you mentioned earlier, I like the idea of, on a map like this, toss a couple smokes early in a flash and see how many Molotovs you can bait off or utility and stuff like that. Different paces is always great. And that Molotov is really nice. Then it goes to E-Box, top right E-Box area. And Config cleans up by Sandwich. But at Vanguard, they get in the bomb site and refresh. Nice little quick scope on the bomb train. And they might not expect Snap to be here because they just killed Refresh pushing. Sorry, not Refresh. Config.
The bomb is down though, and Snappy, he can try to play the time effectively because they have to really rush in this position and make sure that they don't misstep. Snappy is going to pick up one, gets the position. Oh, he's a shadow. That's everything. That's absolutely everything. He's got all the information. 16-11. Snappy closes it down with the trio of kills. And Avangar, I feel like they looked like the better team across the entire series until Train T-side, where they collapsed. They didn't show us anything that looked remotely close to their T-sides on Dust 2 and their T-sides on Overpass. And if we looked at their T-sides on Dust 2, they got shut down, but the thing is that they had great rounds. That's the difference. Here, they struggled to put great rounds together, and OpTic were able to capitalize by being a more balanced train team.
It's interesting because, previous replay on this map with the Avangar, I saw Jamie do a lot more things early in the game, especially in team middle. I didn't see any of his AWPing team mid fast. Like, he kind of sit back and maybe AWP, but he never tried to pick E-box that I saw. And a lot of times, OpTic was pushing a lot. They were pushing E-box, they were pushing Hell, and pushing T-Con. So make them scared of pushing. Try to be mix-up timings, as we were talking about. Get that offer T-Con to pick off E-box. Toss a couple flashes or smoke over mid at the start of the round. Bait some utility, bait rotation, or anything. Then just waiting 15 seconds in the round, every single round, to attack a choke point.
Indeed, it's something that is a bit too much to be desired here. Again, like, Avangar's just one of those teams where I know they're going to have their moment. I think that they've just been consistently grinding, and you see some innovative stuff. They show us some cool tricks that you don't see from other teams. But ultimately, you know, here it is. Here's the lay of the land on the final map, and you can see that MSL actually topped the scoreboard for damage. He had a great performance. We put the question mark on him. He was missing really in the first 2 maps, but here on Train, he showed that he has a much better understanding and more consistency, more flair.
A lot of entry kills.
A lot of entry kills, yes. And there are some which he gave up the opening kill, but it didn't matter because overall it was a net positive. And yeah, so props to him from stepping up. Config always up there. And James, he did a decent job. He's 23 for 13, but it's just that strategy on the T side, really. That's what it's about. And you can see that OpTic will be the first team in week 3 to make their way to the grand finals here in the European portion of the bracket. And Valiance versus Vitality will be tomorrow, and we'll find out who will make it up and be against OpTic. So it's been an interesting best of 3. Any final thoughts for yourself on this one? I think we kind of covered most things, really.
We covered a lot of things. OpTic looked really slow at the start, but they kind of picked it up with the experience of the team, kind of prevailed over Avangar. And then again, on Avangar, we just want to just maybe clean up their T sides. You know, if something doesn't work, have a backup plan to where so that if it doesn't work, you have other factors to do.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've really covered this game. We've done all the analysis as possible. So let's we have the HyperX X Factor of the match.
Ooh.
Let's do it. Let's get in there.
X Factor. Is it grenades? You guys put grenades on there?
Okay, it's all the nades. All right.
I like that. That's
bish bash bosh. Yeah, so that's I think initially what we saw there was some of the research that has been done by Avangar. Again, like really speaking to some of the quality of that team, being some of the ways that they put the work in, not just saying hard work, they're just death matching, but they clearly study their opposition, knowing the timings of the defaults of OpTic and finding an ace. Even though they couldn't find a way to win the series, as we mentioned, they're definitely going to be a team that will go far in the future. And they may still be able to qualify because they've gotten so deep so many times. We'll find out. There's so many weeks left to go. But it's time to plug the tickets. Of course, we are building to a finals here for ECS Season 7, which will be at our home ground in Wembley at the SSE Arena, ecs.faceit.com. Go check out the tickets, the deals, and perhaps, because I think it's, because in June, as you see, 8th to 9th of June, it's going to actually probably be good weather in London. So it could be a good time to plan that London trip. If you're from North America and you've always wanted to go, you can plan it around that. Lots to do and see in London, a fantastic city. And with that said, I think it's time to go to a break, and we'll be back with more Counter-Strike. It'll be the North American portion. We'll bring more semi-final action your way. We'll see you shortly for that.